let's talk about all the elements that keep us out of that present moment where things line up, where it's effortless, it's easy, things are coming to us, there's no effort, we're not forcing outcomes, we're not controlling outcomes, we're not over-focused or obsessing in the ways that people live their daily lives. And what is the process that gets us to that moment, and what are the things that keep us from experiencing it? So if you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, and 90% of your thoughts, consciously or unconsciously, are the same thoughts as you think the day before, if you're thinking the same way, then it makes sense that your life will be the same way. Now, let's break it down into two elements. First element, from the quantum perspective, every thought that you think not only produces a chemical that signals your body to feel certain ways, but that thought also produces a frequency, and that frequency carries information. And the more orderly, the more coherent, the more refined the thought is in the present moment, the greater its ability to carry a message or information. Remember that. But from a pure classical physics standpoint, in the sense that we live in three-dimensional reality, by you thinking the same thoughts, it's going to lead you to make the same choices. If you keep making the same choices, you keep re-experiencing the same behaviors. Those behaviors ultimately turn into a habit. And a habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors that lead to emotions that we do so many times that we no longer have to consciously think about it. In other words, a habit is when you've done something repeatedly and your body now knows how to do it better than your conscious mind. And in a sense, it becomes subconscious or unconscious. And that behavior automatically leads to the same experience. And the same experience that we have in our lives is filtered through our senses. And as we experience something, whatever it is, if we've experienced it before, the same chemical feedback through what we're tasting, what we're seeing, what we're smelling, what we're feeling, what we're hearing, is rushing back to the brain, and it's signaling circuits in your brain to either reorganize into new patterns, if it's a new experience, or fire the same patterns in the same way that continuously stamp the same circuits in the same patterns. And that principle of firing and wiring begins to hardwire the brain to look for the same experience. And what does the experience produce? The payoff, the emotion. So the same behavior leading to the same experience, producing the same feeling or emotion then, causes the body to get the same information. And as long as we're living by the same feelings, we tend to cause those feelings tend to cause us to think in very familiar ways. And the cycle goes on. Now the problem is, everything in your life stays the same. So then, most people then, by firing and wiring the same thoughts, by making the same choices, by demonstrating the same behaviors, by repeating the same experiences and living by the same feelings and emotions, they're headed for a very specific, predictable future. And so what they don't realize in those unconscious states, that they forget that they create reality. So let's just say that the pattern of doing this is something that you do every single day, and you've been doing it for the last 15 years. Well, your body, in a certain amount of time, will be programmed into certain behaviors. It'll be on autopilot, making the same choices. And your body, which has been conditioned to be the mind now, is dragging you into the same future based on what you did in the past. And we lose our free will to create to a series of programs.